Good morning, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here this morning. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs?
Here.
Master Barger?
Here.
Master Tudor?
Here.
Master Botkin?
Present.
Judge Taylor?
Here. At this time, I'd like to invite Brother Walter Jones from the Gospel Barn to come up and lead us in a word of prayer. Mr. Jones, I appreciate you being here today.
It's good to be here with all the Madison County leaders. And I love the Lord, and I'm here to represent my county. As we come to you, let's all pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, as we gather here today, we want you to bless this service and this meeting today, that everything will be done in order and individual like it should be, God. You're in control, Lord. You're the master. You're the only one that we can turn to. We ask you to bless our country, our nation, our leaders. You be with every sick human being, wherever they may be, our soldier boys and our nation, God. We love you. We praise you. We need you, Lord, more than we've ever needed you in our nation. You be with this service. You lead and guide us that it be done in order, Lord. You're God and there's no other. And we ask this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. In Jesus' wonderful name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Sheriff, if you will.
Please stand, face our flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Thanks, Sheriff. Appreciate that. Guys, y'all had a chance to look at our minutes from our previous fiscal court meeting, which was on May the 14th. If y'all approve those minutes, I need a motion in a second.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. I'm also going to ask if, for permission for the special call meeting, which was on May the 22nd, which is our budget workshop. If you want to hold these off for the next meeting, we can. Kenny just brought those to me now. We didn't take action in the budget meeting, obviously. It was just a special call budget workshop. If you want to approve these today, I need a motion and a second. If not, we'll hold off to the next meeting.
Judge, there's about 4 pages of those. I'd rather just hold it off.
Sure, no worries. Next, the treasurer's report. Good morning, Glenna.
Good morning. This treasurer's report is through April 30th, 2019. Our total fund balance as of April 30th is $8,724,213.01. Our general fund revenues through April 30th is at 98.8%. Our expenditures are at 67.8%. Our road fund revenues are at 89.9%. Our expenditures are at 78.3%. Our jail fund revenues are at 99.7%, and our expenditures are at 80.7%. The LGA fund, our revenues are at 115%, our expenditures are at 16.6%. CSEP fund, our revenues are at 8.1%, our expenditures are at 8.7%. 911 fund, our revenues are at 71.4%, our expenditures are at 65.6%. And our health fund, our revenues are at 70%, our expenditures are at 49.8%. This is available to the public if anybody would like a copy of it. You can see my office. Yeah, anybody have any questions?
I don't. Thanks, Glenn. Anybody?
That's good.
Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it. We'll see you in a minute. Next on the agenda is executive session regarding personnel. At this time, we need a motion and a second to go into executive session over personnel.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks for everybody's patience. We had a motion and a second. You got that, Kenny?
Yes, sir.
Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. At this time, there's no action taken on personnel in executive session. Next is CSEP. This is a MOA, Memorandum of Agreement with Garrett County for assistance during the CSEP event. Good morning, Dustin.
Morning, sir.
How are you, buddy?
Guys?
And I think we'll just go through all three of them. They'll probably need 3 different motions, but we'll be talking about the Garrett County for personal assistance during CSEP event. and also MOA with Baptist Health Richmond. So,
All right. Yeah, we'll start with the first one. This is an MOA with Garrett County CSEP to assist us in field operations, mostly for field decontamination, so firefighting and hazmat support if there were ever a release from the bluegrass chemical activity. It just kind of lays out who we contact and what they're willing to provide. Obviously, if they are affected in some manner, they would not be able to provide assistance either. But we want these MOAs in process so that we can utilize them and activate them as necessary. So this first one is just we are going to actually use this during our CSEP exercise this September. So we're going to ask for their assistance. They're going to come over to our decon site with some firefighters and some police officers and assist us in that operation. So we're actually going to put it to use this September in the exercise.
okay. Thanks, Dustin. Guys, I will ask, and I'm not sure, might need council to help us with this, is Dustin can sign as the director of EMA. Counselor, can he sign a MOA, right off?
Not right off, I mean, I'm sure he can.
So when we-
The catch is whether you have to sign in addition.
Addition,
so
right.
I'll have to look at that.
So when we make this motion to accept this, just make it to where either I can sign or Dustin can
Yes.
sign, and we'll work out whether or not you can or I need to too.
Perfect.
Do you
So-
wanna do them one at a time?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion on the first one.
Second.
So we have a motion on the floor to sign the MOA with Garrett County for assistance during a CSEP event, and allowing myself or Dustin and/or both to sign the agreement.
Perfect.
No discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
All right. So the second one is, again, another MOA with Garrett County CSEP. This is to support us with EOC personnel, so our Emergency Operations Center. Again, if there were ever a release and they were not affected, they have a lot of expertise as similar to what we have, training that we've had, and we'd like their support because if that ever happened, we need 24/7 support in that Emergency Operations Center, and they could help supply that in conjunction with our team. We are again going to utilize this MOA in the CSEP exercise in September. So they're going to bring over about 5 or 6 personnel, depending on their availability, and fill in some roles at our Emergency Operations Center.
Is there a reason these weren't combined?
We could have, sir. We did them separately because that's kind of where their director wanted them done.
Okay.
It was half a dozen, one or the other. I think the reason we kept them separate is because they could supply one and not the other. So
Okay.
I think that's where we went that direction.
That's good.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to give Dustin or yourself the authority to sign the MOA for the personal assistance with Garrett County in
All right.
the CSEP program.
Thanks, John. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Go ahead.
So our final MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, is with Baptist Health Richmond. This MOU has been something we've had on a yearly basis with them for quite a while. Basically, it lays out what Baptist Health's responsibilities to us and the CSEP program, and then what our responsibilities are to them. So they'll supply somebody if we ever have some type of release to the Emergency Operations Center to coordinate efforts between the hospital and the county. That we will then work and review their emergency operations plan, help them with supplies and training as part of the CSEP program. So again, something that we've been doing for quite a while.
Yep. Do we also have one of these with St. Joseph Berea too?
I'd have to double check. I don't believe we do, but
Okay.
if not, we'll make sure we get one because
Okay.
it'd be a good thing. Yeah, we need to do the same with them.
Yeah, because we provide them with
Similar.
similar
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Um,
pretty much the same.
items that they might need in case of an event, correct?
Yep. Equipment, training, we
Yep.
provide that to them too.
Okay.
I was
curious, Dustin, when I read that, you're one of the statements there is maintain policy, procedures, systems to monitor and reduce adverse outcomes. What systems or what is that?
So they have a overpressurization system as part of the CSEP program for that hospital, so that they work to maintain that with our Corps of Engineers counterparts.
Similar to like our jail, right?
Exactly.
Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. All right. If y'all approve and sign this memorandum of understanding between the county MA, CSEP, and Baptist Health Richmond, I need a motion and second to allow myself or Dustin, or a combination of both, to sign.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank
Thanks,
you all.
Dustin, appreciate it. Next is the road department. Scott, awarding salt bids. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. Wanted to bring this to the magistrates and discuss salt a little bit. A couple of years ago, CAECO got involved with the salt market, and they have created a way to reverse bid our salt to hopefully get us a better price by buying in bulk and being an entity that has some pull. I wasn't pleased last year with the numbers. I wasn't pleased with the process this year, so I did call Scott Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Martin at CAECO, asked him to come down and have a meeting with us. And they kind of hit us this year and said there was a new catch to the salt option, that we had to guarantee we buy 70% of whatever tonnage that we said we were going to purchase. Well, as you all know, it may not snow. So if it doesn't snow, how do we buy 70% of a number? So to try to make it to where I knew I could store the minimum amount, I turned in 1,500 tons. We usually use an average of somewhere around 3,000 tons a year. So I half that, and if I had to buy 1,500 tons, I could. So the prices came in. We got 3 bids through the reverse auction at $99.75 from Detroit Salt, $99.89 from Magic Salt, and $106.20 from Cargill. That is about 25 cents less than we paid last year.
So,
We dealt with Detroit last year.
We did. So I discussed it with the judge, and the timing of this reverse salt auction allowed me to have enough time to put out private bids. So I chose to send companies private bids in our bidding process to see if I could get it cheaper. We got 2 bids in. These are non-guaranteed. We do not have to buy 70% of. The first one was from Magic Salt, which if you notice, they bid $99.89 in the first go around with the reverse bids. They bid it to us direct for $96 a ton. It's a savings of $3.89 a ton.
Is that guaranteed if you sign the contract?
That is guaranteed up to 2,000 pounds. And we don't have to sign a guarantee of buy. In other words,
2,000 tons.
2,000 tons.
Yeah.
You know,
It'd be 1 ton.
yeah. You know, they ask us, and they say the reason the price has went up so much is because counties were saying they would buy 6,000 to 8,000 tons, and they were only buying like 1,500 tons, so it was causing them to have excess of stock. Well, I explained to CAECO that's not our problem. We're in the business to make sure that we save the most for the county, and we shouldn't be penalized for, a supplier having to carry overstock. So we have always dealt with Detroit Salt in the past. They give us great service, but we are able to get it for $3.89 cheaper a ton if we go with this Magic Salt, which we've never used before. But they are a CAECO supplier, so I don't foresee any problems.
Scott, have you ever, do you know who they've supplied to in the past? Have you got any kind of references from them or
They
anything?
did not send a list of references, and we opened these late last week.
Yeah.
I have not checked it out, but that's something I could do the rest of the day, if you decide to go that way, or if the court decides to go that way. it's not a significant amount of savings, but I truly don't like Keiko being involved in our purchases and telling us what we have and have to do, and I would kinda like to break away from that.
You gotta watch Skippy.
What's
You
the,
gotta watch Skippy.
what's the other bid? You said there's two of them came back with.
The two that come back was Magic Salt for $96 a ton, and Compass Materials for $109.23.
Okay.
It's on there.
And Magic, their address shows out of Louisville, and then the other one shows out of Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to give Scott the authority to deal with Magic Salt on the order, or salt, providing the references checked
Check
out
out.
on the previous purchaser of that salt, that they're suitable to use, Scott,
Without the 70% contract.
without the city.
I second that.
So I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Scott.
thank you, Scott, for doing that.
Next is personnel. This is golf seasonal grounds crew. Hi, buddy.
Hi, good morning. I'd like to get the court's approval on two golf seasonal grounds crew hires. The first is Andrew Crowder, and his starting salary would be $8.50 an hour. Start date of 5/29, pending his background check and his drug testing.
Motion, give me a motion, Judge. Motion
Please.
to hire, motion to hire Andrew Crowder for $8.50 an hour, starting on 5/29.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No discussion, call the roll.
Mr. Barker?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
And the second one is Zachary Collins, also $8.50 an hour. Start date 5/29, once again pending background check and drug testing.
Make a motion we hire Zachary Collins, $8.50 an hour.
Starting May the 29th, 2019, pending drug test background check. Yep. So got a
Second.
motion, do I have a second? Got a second? No discussion, call the roll.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Barker? Yes. Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary, appreciate it. Guys, next is swearing in of the Madison County Treasurer. Come on up here. Yeah, let's just go right up front. We read in statute that we have to do this publicly, so, and it needs to be, scoot over, that it needs to be in front of everybody, okay?
Stand up straight.
So I should have put an X there, I guess, so you can understand. So you do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully execute to the best of your ability the office of Madison County Treasurer according to law. And you do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, you being a citizen of this state have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have you sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have you acted as second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending, so help you God. Congratulations. Yeah.
I'm just glad to know she's not dueling out there.
Yeah, that's right. It's good that she's not doing it. So then she has her bond. That's good. All right.
Now she gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Now it's time to go to work. That's right. Glenna, this next is the second reading of ordinance 1904. It's a 2018-19 jail budget amendment.
We're amending $195,175. We had first reading last court. This is just second reading. DLG has signed off on it. It will go in effect today.
If y'all approve the second reading of ordinance 1905, 2018-2019, I need a motion second.
So move.
Second.
Is there any public comment? Seeing none, have a motion and a second. No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger? Yes. Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is first reading of ordinance 1905. This is 2019, 2020 fiscal court budget. Glenna?
We had our budget workshop last week, went over the budget. The only change that I have is, Reagan had brought up in the budget workshop, was adding in a line into the revenues for bond proceeds for the dump trucks, and then adding an expenditure line item to pay for those. It's a wash, for $1,228,000. And that was added into the road fund. That's the only change from the draft, second draft that we had at the workshop.
And that's where we talked about purchasing 10 new trucks.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually bringing the proceeds from the bond sales in, and then paying
Paying it out.
paying the vendor for the trucks. And then we budgeted for the payment for the bonds to be made out of the LGA. Does anybody have any questions?
Y'all have any questions for the budget?
Make a motion that we accept the budget as presented.
I have a motion to accept the 2019, 2020 budget as presented. Do I have a second?
So, did have a question.
Sure.
The initial payment for the 10 vehicles, where's it coming from, out of which one?
The LGEA fund?
The 640,000.
No. If you go to the LGA fund, we're only gonna be making an interest payment for that,
I think it was like 38 or 13,000 or
14,000.
something. 14,000.
14,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
no, if you were looking in the general fund, I can tell you, it would either be the 2017 bonds or 2000. We do have the principal and interest payments on the 2017 bond series and the 2012 series on that.
Yeah,
Is
if
that
you
what
remember-
where was the 640,000 you were looking at?
He's looking, I think he's looking at the total revenues of the LGA account.
Oh,
It's
okay.
640,000.
Yeah, no, we would just be paying out 14,800 on the first
Yeah,
year.
we talked about, this year, we only hit the interest, which is only the 14.8. And that's sort of estimated. I mean, obviously, you gotta go through, a little bit depends on what the market is, but we talked about, like, next year, Tom, that we'd use our revenues from our LGA funds to make that bond payment for the trucks. That's how we could use that money. Because we approximately get in 138 or something.
Somewhere
Or
around 140,000.
40,000 we get in every year for that. So that would be a good use of that money for the next 10 years to help our dump truck fleet.
Yep.
You know, so I think our newest truck's a 06, right? So it's 13 years old. Yeah, and I think we only have a couple of those, right? Yeah, two. Yeah.
And the cost of those trucks, Glenna, was 100 and something.
1,228,000. That's
Per truck.
About 120,000.
120,000
trucks.
All right, so I have a motion and I have a second on the 2019-20 budget. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Berger? Yes. Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, thank you. Glenna, thank you. Great work on the budget this year. Hopefully we'll get through the second reading. We'll have the second reading, the last meeting of June, correct?
Yes.
Yep. All right, next, the judge's report. I have a few announcements. Berea's annual L&N Depot Day will be Saturday, June the 1st in Old Town. The Berea Volunteer Fire Department will be hosting a car show on Saturday, June the 1st at the Russell Action Folk Center in Berea. Contact the Berea Volunteer Fire Department for more information. The annual US 25 yard sale will be Thursday, June the 6th through Sunday, June the 9th. Since US 25 runs through the middle of Madison County, please be mindful of increased traffic along that route. Hope Swings is sponsoring an Evening of Hope on Saturday, June 8th at Chenault Vineyards, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are available through Hope Swings website or through the Richmond Chamber of Commerce. The 48th annual Patty A. Clay Auxiliary Charity Ball will be Saturday, June 15th at the EKU Center for the Arts, beginning at 9 p.m. For tickets or more information, please contact Patty A. Clay Auxiliary's website. A reminder that the Madison County Parks open at 8 a.m. every day and close at dusk. For more information, please call Battlefield Golf Course at 624-8005. I also want to shout out, are you going to say that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead. I'll wait for you then. That's all I have in the judge's report. Comments from magistrates. Tom?
I just want to say that I've noticed going through the district there that a lot of the projects, and about a month ago, I had Brandon for a couple hours and rode him around and showed him a lot of different places, some of which you saw, where things needed cutting back off the highway and things like that. And I noticed the other day that they are starting to make some progress on some of those things. So we certainly appreciate his efforts out there. You know, this morning as I was coming in, and I don't really know what the fix for this is, but this morning when I was coming in down at the intersection of Cal East and Duncannon, there just luckily happened to be a semi driver pulled off on the side of the road. And I just got out and run up. That's part of why I was a little bit late. I just got out and run up there and asked him, you know, where he was going, and he was heading to Lebanon, Kentucky, and he was looking at Peytontown. So everybody knows what a disaster that would have been.
You can't get Lebanon through Payton.
But his GPS was showing him to head through Peytontown, and I wish there was a way that we could get through those GPS companies to get that fixed, where that they can't send them down those type of roads. So anyway, he made the left there on the 50 on Cal East, went down to 52, and he's on his way. But you just have to be careful when you see those guys out. We have fixed a turnaround there at Duncannon. The state did. Brandon took care of that some time ago, and I suppose that helps. But every now and then we find one hung up in the curve over there, and there's just not much you can do about it. We are also starting our mowing, and so just be courteous with the guys that are out clearing things out of the way and on the tractors and the bush hogs, and give them a little leeway. And yeah, I know it's past, Judge, but I just want to just a quick shout out for all of our veterans and folks that didn't make it home. That's what Memorial Day is all about, to just remember our family and friends. And we've said this many times, but we're able to gather here today and say what we need to say because of a soldier, sailor, airman, marine, or Coast Guard. And we will never forget that.
Yep. Thanks, buddy. John?
Judges don't have a whole lot. I just want to remind everybody that school's out. Please watch for the children out playing on the side of the road and the streets. They shouldn't be playing in the streets, but sometimes they're out there, so watch for them. Be careful. There'll be some bikers out this summer on these rural roads. I know Tate's Creek is a major thoroughfare for some of the bikers, 4 Mile area it is. Farmers will also be out on their tractors trying to get some hay up and get some crops in the ground, so watch for them. Slow down, be a little cautious. They're doing the best they can to get off the road as quick as they can. I've talked to State Road Department. They're running a little bit behind with some of their projects now, but they are working hard to try to get caught up. So be patient. If you call them to try to get a culvert installed or something, it might be a month or so before they can get to you, but they will get to you. Just call me and check on it, and I'll remind them and try to relay the message back to you. And one last thing, please do not litter on your county and state highways. If you go through a fast food restaurant, keep your trash in your car and take it and put it in the garbage can. Please do not litter, and let's keep our country clean and pretty. Appreciate that.
Thanks, John. Raj?
Well, in reference to what Tom was speaking of, the tractor trailer, Valley Ferry has the same problem. On the GPS, it shows a line going across the river, meaning there's probably a bridge there. It doesn't tell you that there's not a bridge there, and when that line's on their map, that's what they assume. So we probably catch 4 or 5 a year that's headed down the wrong road because of that, And there's signs up telling you that we don't haul tractor trailers, but they don't pay attention to that. They believe that GPS before they believe the sign. So just part of it. I want to thank Glenna for her work on the budget. Appreciate what you do. That's about all I got, Judge.
Thanks, Roger. Larry?
Judge, I don't have anything, just glad to be here.
Glad you're here, man. Jenny?
Nope, I'm
You
good.
good? Kenny?
No.
Sure.
I just want to let the court know that all our cruisers that we had ordered are in, they are issued out. We're deadlining the older vehicles. Worked with the jailer to give them a couple of, maybe 3 of the older cars
Good.
getting their fleet in good shape.
Thanks, Sheriff. Comments from department heads? Gary?
I'd like to hire some more people. No. Just two quick things that I'd like to put out there as Madison County pride. Anytime we do things at the golf course, we like to remind people that we're owned by Madison County and it's a service for the county. First, going back to February, the Golf Course Superintendents Association national meeting was out in San Diego. And Brad Nevitt from Advanced Turf, who's our sales rep, and Dr. Greg Munshaw from UK put on a presentation of overseeding fairways with bluegrass. And Battlefield Golf Course was showcased in that. So I have to thank Tony Kidd for all of his work he has done on that. Now I can segue into Friday. We had the Richmond Chamber of Commerce outing at Battlefield. There were 131 players who played in that. And I won't go into the details how much work we put into that, but some of the things we heard from that. First of all, when the chamber showed up, they were shocked that we had everything all set for them. They said that isn't normally the case for them. They'll show up and they have to help with setup, but we had that all set. Of course, we got lots of compliments on the course itself. We even had a few people who said they were going to quit their current course and switch over to Battlefield. And one other thing that kind of surprised me too, the chamber had about 14 to 16 sponsors who were putting up tents and other things on the golf course. Well, we had it set, we would shuttle them out to the hole and help them. We had at least 4 of them say they were shocked that they got help from us. Normally, they have to find their own way out onto the course. So I could tell you 100 more comments we got, but it was just a fabulous outing, and I have to thank all of the guys that work at the golf course. We put in 12-hour days the day before and that day, so I think it was a great success for the county.
Kudos, Gary. I actually had the opportunity to play in the event, and I also got tons of compliments, and that's what I was going to tell you a minute ago. I was going to commend you guys, but the course does look great. It has come a long way. You know, it used to have the name Cattlefield.
Yes.
And it has lost that name, and I'm so proud of the look. People couldn't believe. People could not believe how well it looked and how well it's being taken care of. So kudos.
Thank you.
Yep.
Gary,
Great.
I want to say, I'm proud of the job that you're doing out there, and that personal service will go a long ways. That will help your course stand out above the others. We don't get personal service anymore. You know where you go. So please continue with that.
No, we will.
And thank you with an outstanding golf course you're representing the county with out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other department heads? Very good. Comments from the audience?
If there's anybody else, I'll go last.
You've been patiently waiting.
You are gonna go last.
Yeah.
I'm glad to coming after him because that was one thing I wanted to mention, I hadn't thought of. I'm here for the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame. They're having they always have a golf tournament along with this thing. And it's on September the 6th, and I have some applications I plan on taking to all 5 golf courses as soon as I find time. And people can sign up and go to that. It costs them $125 or $400 for a foursome. That includes your golf cart, lunch, and the trophies, which I guess is pretty good, 125 or 400. Okay, now you know why I'm here. I've been real busy since I've covered Madison County. I've got 5 of those 2 by 3 foot signs out in Madison County. Or in Richmond. I got 5 in Berea. And I started hitting the counties around us, starting with Garrett County, Lincoln County, Rockcastle, and I'm now in Jackson. I've got a total of 6 signs out there in those counties right now, working towards 2 more week after next, which will put me 2 in every county. Lincoln County took 2 of the signs at Fiscal Court. And now I've got some good and some bad news, mostly good news. I'll give the bad news last. I got a couple letters here from Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame, and like I said, I wanted to come in and give you guys the first notice of this before it goes to the paper. It says, congratulations, Chester Elkin. He was elected to the Hall of Fame. The other one, didn't expect, but there it is. Congratulations, Emerson McAfee. I had a Secretary Treasurer of the Vietnam Veterans Chapter. He thought I ought to be submitted also. I said, no. Yeah, give me your information so I can do the write-up. So he got me in. He did a fabulous write-up. I didn't think I'd make it until I saw his write-up. Once I saw his write-up, I says, I'll probably be in before these 2 guys that I put in for it. So we got 2 out of 3 are our first submissions from the county. The only ones have ever made it from this county. Most of them, well, we're the only 2 from the southern half of the state. I got it started, I guess, here in this county. But all of them are from Louisville, Cincinnati, Frankfort, Lexington, the bigger places. Nobody had even worked the southern half of the state. So my plan is to hit all 4, go all the way around. Once I get through in 2 weeks, I'll be at Lincoln County to get the other half down there. I'm going to commission and the fiscal courts in all of them. And then I go over to see the fiscal court for Jackson County. And then I'm going to slide on up to Estill and Clark. May not go any further. I may start down I-75 if I'm still alive. But I just wanted to thank you guys for all your support. And talk to your roadman. I wanted to find out if your sign has been put up yet. If it hasn't, I'd love to see you get it up somewhere so I can take a picture of them. I want pictures of all of them. And I have some invitations here. You may have seen it, and I know the sheriff has seen it. I took these to his office, and I brought one to your office. If you still got it, if you haven't, I got a few more here with me, and I can get more. This is the banquet on the 6th. The golf tournament is in the morning. The banquet will be at 6:30 at night, and this is all at the Marriott. It's not cheap. They're charging $75 a piece. This includes your meal and the entertainment and the announcement and induction of, not the actual induction, of all the members that made it. Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, that's when they actually hang the ribbon on you in the metal. That's free. But the dinner, et cetera, on Friday night is $75. And I told the sheriff that if you can get enough of you combined, you can get a table for 10 and save $100 and only $65 a piece. And I'll leave some of these with you in case you just want to go by yourself. But I'd love to see some support over there from Madison County, Richmond and Berea, for both of us. Chester, his daughter, said that she's been thinking, and once she found out he made it, she said, I'm going to try as best I can to get him there. He's not in that great a shape. He can still hold a little bit of a conversation with you and tell you all the old stories. But she says depends. She thinks she can get him there. And I don't know whether she'd want to take him to the banquet that night because they don't hang the medal on him till the next day. She may just want to take him on Saturday morning. But I'm hoping that he'll be there. I'm having a great time with him. I've been seeing him since last August. He's now, I can tell, he's just slightly deteriorating a little bit. He doesn't talk as loud, and some of his words, it's a little hard to understand, but he can still hold a conversation with you and tell you about all the stories.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, and I thank you for all the time, all the help you've given me.
Thanks, Emerson. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, that's good. Thanks. Appreciate it, Emerson.
Thank you.
There's no more audience. Everybody has some employees. I need a motion to pay the claims, approve the transfers.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. No discussion. Call the roll.
Master Bucket?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next meeting is June 11th, 2019. That'll be here in Richmond. Again, the next meeting is June 11th, 2019 here in Richmond. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.